Reminder, guys, check out our new Fightful MMA and Boxing YouTube. Link is in the description below. Subscribe, leave a comment on any of our videos. Be registered to win the signed Chuck Liddell Randy Couture photograph. Show your boys at Fightful some love. Eventually, our podcast will be over there. Right now, we're going to keep them on the pro wrestling channel as we build up that MMA channel. But James has a ton of interviews over there. Derrick Lewis apparently hurt Daniel Cormier, if Cormier is to be believed, but you really couldn't tell it. There was a leg kick landed and maybe a punch towards the end when Cormier came in, close call and a head kick. But other than that, it was Daniel Cormier wrestling domination. A high single leg, dragged him down. I mentioned on our preview on Tuesday, it was impressive that Derrick Lewis had Gabriel Gonzaga on his back, and he's just like, well, I'm going to stand up. But he did that with Cormier too, which is just as impressive, even though Cormier went on to control him. But he wasn't able to overcome that in the second round, and Daniel Cormier choked him out. Regardless, and Cormier took this fight because he matched up well with Lewis. This is still real impressive, man. Volkov put the pain on Derrick Lewis for 3 rounds and couldn't put him away. Daniel Cormier, it was not a problem, James.
Yeah, there's levels in this division and in in a lot of divisions where it just shows the level of talent. And Cormier is just a step above. And he even said it post fight. He's like, Derrick Lewis is a great fighter, but he's just, I don't know if he used the word levels, but he just said that there's sort of different skill sets in that division. And he looked great in this fight. One thing I wanted to ask you, I'm sure you were going to talk about it, but him talking about Brock with the WWE Championship, were you like the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland when you heard that?
Yes, because that is the one positive that can come of Brock Lesnar winning that championship that almost nobody, I'm talking like based on the reception we got, about 90-95% of fans did not want him winning that title yesterday. So the fact that he has it and Daniel Cormier is saying, yeah, bring it on over here. And the thing is, Daniel Cormier would do it and would fully be like, yeah, you know what? I'll work WrestleMania. Sure. I'll do that. I can put something together real quick and Braun Strowman run through him in like 2 minutes. He's business like that. A good person to go back and look at is Muhammad Ali. He would get in the ring with Gorilla Monsoon, and you would think a guy like Muhammad Ali is going to have a big ego. He's not going to let some fat wrestler boss him around. Oh, no. Muhammad Ali jobbed out for Gorilla Monsoon, took the airplane spin, got his ass whipped. I get the feeling that's what Daniel Cormier would do too, because he likes the entertainment side of things. He understands it. So when I see that, I'm like, oh, okay. And a lot of people suspected that Brock would be there. I figured it'd be very hard. He was in Saudi Arabia yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't think it was possible.
I find it hard that he would be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia Friday, New York Saturday. Even if it were possible, he would have hit somebody with the old piss off mate with one of those. That's not Brock Lesnar's style, essentially. But Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Cormier seems the next matchup. If for some reason he were to lose, the UFC wouldn't have been too bummed. They could have booked Brock Lesnar and John Jones. No big loss there. I think this is a legit super main event that's going to do like 1 million. Well, anything with Brock's going to do 1 million buys. But I think for the last couple of years while Connor's been gone and John's been out and GSP sidelined but still out before that, he was around for one fight, I think Cormier's been the UFC's biggest star for the last year or so.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge fight. This is already an early Christmas present for the UFC for next year in terms of having this fight. Thank God Cormier won, because we're gonna see it happen. It's got to happen. The question is, when does it happen? I know they announced that card in Vegas on March 2nd. Maybe you push it then, or maybe you do it a little bit earlier. I don't know where they're you could do Super Bowl weekend, I guess, too. I didn't check all the dates, but I'm sure they're gonna that'll be in its own card. And one other thing I wanted to mention: thank God they didn't do Brock over Skype. To kind of Skype in or something like that, because you remember they did that with, I think it was Henan Barrow, and they tried to do like a trash talk, and the connection didn't look as good. So, thank God they didn't do something like that, huh?
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
That's a very Bellator thing to do.
Yes.
These days too.
Yeah.
So UFC 230, I thought it was a classic show. Just a ton of great fights, a ton of great moments, comeback wins. You had prospects winning. You had all-time greats on the show. You had Fight of the Year candidates, 2 of them. What will be your lasting memory years from now when somebody says UFC 230? What do you remember from the card, not the lead up? Because You know, we could have had Diaz and Poirier on here too, and who knows how we'd be talking then. But what will be what you think of?
I know people are sick of me talking about it, but it's Adesanya. I think this is the fight we're going to look back on. This was his big moment, his big stage, and I think big things are ahead for him. I think this is the card you're going to look at. You're going to remember him, you know, making that debut at Madison Square Garden and, you know, really impressing over Derek Brunson because, you know, there were people that thought that Brunson's wrestling could take care of business, but Adesanya put on a beautiful performance, and I just think that he sort of stole the show, in my opinion.
Guys, I want to thank you all so much for joining us. You can join us every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Fightful MMA podcast. It's a good time. We preview shows, review shows, talk about the MMA news, but I post MMA live updates on that new YouTube channel. Hit up FightfulMMA.com. We're getting stories up faster than ever. Check it out. We have a bunch up there from tonight. We have live coverage of the press conference over on Fightful MMA.